I would like to invite on stage Mr. Robert Moyser. He's director at BuroHappold Engineering. And ladies and gentlemen, he's also a chartered civil engineer with over 10 years of experience in the design, construction, and management of civil engineering works. Mr. Robert has key expertise in civil and highways infrastructure, engineering, master planning, and urban regeneration, sustainable urban drainage, flood risk, and other surface water-related fields. Not only this, he also has a broad base of experience from both leading, coordinating, and providing technical input on projects ranging from small public realm to major transportation, infrastructure, master planning, and smart city schemes for both private and public sector clients. So ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor, it's a privilege to invite Mr. Robert Moyser on stage. Welcome, sir.
Great, thank you for a fantastic introduction. As mentioned, my name is Rob Moyser. I'm a director at BuroHappold Engineering. I'm based in the UK, out of London, but I do travel quite extensively globally. I lead the Living City workstream within the business. I'm delighted to be speaking with you today about BuroHappold's response to smart cities called the Living City. It is particularly relevant to the topic of today's conference, and I do hope you enjoy the presentation. It's coming from quite a broad global perspective, so please bear with me. Before we start, I'll just provide a little bit of background to BuroHappold, as many of you may not know who we are. We're a global organisation of approximately 1,800 people across 28 global offices, including one office in Mumbai, where we've been for approximately 10 years. We cover buildings and city-scale projects, and we work with the best global architects and urban planners and have strategic partnerships with a number of global cities. We design projects like the fantastic Olympic Stadium in London, the iconic High Line in New York. We also provide strategic planning, economic and business advice for our cities such as Detroit. And we also provide strategic infrastructure planning and procurement advice on projects such as the District Energy Strategy for London. In India, we've worked on many exciting projects. Tata Campus in Kerala, an Eco-Valley Resort in Tamil Nadu, a new township outside of Mumbai called Palava. At a building scale, we've worked on the iconic Lodha Towers, as well as the Reliance headquarters buildings. And recently, we're currently working with the Rajasthan and Gujarat states on the India 100 Smart Cities programme. So we've been working on smart cities from its early days of inception. In 2008, we worked on Planet Valley, a smart city project in Portugal, with a technology collaborator called Living Planet. Now, smart cities was relatively new then, and never really got into any kind of momentum in those early days. But as we moved forward, momentum started to build, and we began to notice a greater requirement from our clients asking for smart city thinking and technology advice. And the above selection of our projects is typical of how that momentum started to build over the last 5 years. And as we move into and close 2015, we work on many global projects that require technology input and advice. I'll talk in a bit more detail about those projects a little bit later. So many of you will be aware that more than 50% of the world's population live in cities. It's a well-worn statistic, and that percentage will only increase as we move forward. You'll also be acutely aware that the majority of that growth is focused on Asia and Africa. But all those smaller growth, but still significant growth in the Western world. And as you'll know, urban migration continues. Cities will face and are facing significant challenges ranging from meeting basic human needs for clean water, food, shelter, and well-paid jobs, as well as the large impact on the environment caused by development and the immediate and future impacts caused by climate change. And if you look at history, technology has not always provided the most holistic solutions. And all of these challenges really impact negatively on quality of life. So something has to change. So digital cities, intelligent cities, smart cities have long been held up as a way to resolve these challenges. However, the term, from our perspective, the term and the broader philosophy has been overtaken by the high-tech industry in order to promote their solutions, which typically promote efficiency and optimization over everything else. Whilst obviously these are important to any city, the broader opportunity around improving quality of life and solving more complex integrated problems unfortunately seem to have been missed. So around 2010, BuroHappold decided that a new approach was required. And we called it the living city. The living city, The living city is founded upon society and community and an overwhelming desire that whatever intervention is required, it has to improve on the quality of life for a city's citizens. Many of you know Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's a useful framework, one of many that I might add, but we use it and others use it to determine the type of impact an intervention might have on society. But societal and community impact is not the only area that deserves particular attention. We believe that equal focus should also be given to governance and growth, environment and natural resources, as well as urban infrastructure. These 4 areas can be further broken down into 12 core components. All of these should be considered when addressing any new or existing development. Just going into them in a bit more detail. Governance and growth typically covers business, economic, and organisational structural considerations, covering governance and government, employment and growth, as well as business development and investment. Environment and natural resources covers environmental quality, protection, and stewardship, agriculture and food, as well as waste and recycling. Urban infrastructure, as the title suggests, covers utilities, infrastructure, the built environment, as well as its associated urban realm and public realm, as well as public transport, mobility, and inclusive design. And last but not least, society and community covers things like education and training, health and well-being, and the broader community. And I'm sure all of you out there have your own measures and metrics and areas of focus for smart cities. This is just a helpful framework for us and our partners to help us understand projects and make sure that we're thinking from the most holistic way possible. So a living city can be defined as actively enhancing the quality of life for citizens using technology as an enabler. It combines sustainable urban development with urban intelligence. Now, data obviously plays a key role, and the multiple data sets that do exist and will exist in the future should be viewed holistically and in an integrated way, and they should ultimately benefit the end user and society in general. The living city and the 4 key areas of the living city underpin, or should underpin, any new existing development, and the intelligence from the technology, as mentioned earlier, should be seen as a feedback loop to improve both city services, user experiences, and overall quality of life. So how are we using the living city in practice with our clients and cities? I will just pause to say not all of our projects, we cover those 12 core components. On those types of projects, we work with our partners to actively support projects and think about the problems in a more holistic fashion. So in Riyadh, we've worked on a fantastic project called WADI HANIFAH. It's won multiple awards, including the Aga Khan Award in 2010. It took a long, disused and forgotten river and turned it into a fantastic waterside public park that is both popular for families and visitors alike. It has increased land value exponentially in the local area, and we integrated an environmental monitoring system into the water network to monitor both water quality and water levels. And this links back to a new city-based warning system that then issues alerts to both citizens and emergency services when there's likely to be a flood. In Miami, we've worked with a client who wanted to understand how technology could be used to support the visioning of a new innovation district. We helped identify technologies that provided the most impact to users, whilst anchoring those technologies into the development sustainability principles. We then helped our client to articulate to both stakeholders in the city of Miami how technology could positively enhance the broader sustainability goals of the city. In Riyadh again, we worked with an architectural firm called Gensler to develop a new city master plan for 100,000 people. Small by Indian standards, but nevertheless important for the context of Saudi Arabia. We integrated sustainable infrastructure, mobility, waste, security, energy, environmental and fire strategies, and integrated that with a technology vision that was brought together via an urban operating system. We then developed the business and economic plan behind the deployment of that technology, as well as the broader infrastructure strategies, etc., and advised on the governance requirements for the city to help integrate technology responsibility across the future city departments. Moving into Malaysia, a project close to my heart. I've been working on this project for the past 5 years. We've been helping our clients develop a new commercial district, taking from master plan in 2010 into the first phase of construction today. We've also been helping our clients with the procurement of multiple technology services for their development, where we're defining the use cases for those technologies, we're defining the technical and system requirements of the technology, and then also writing the RFPs. Moving into London, we helped a business airport client reimagine how passengers move through their airport. If you imagine, if you will, a check-in area where there's no check-in clerks, everything's done online. So we created a technology strategy to support that with some partners, and then wrote the business economic plan to support the deployment of that vision. And then finally, although I'd love to speak more about this project, I can't because I've got a very extensive NDA that I've signed. But in the US, we're currently working on a very exciting project where our client is looking to disrupt and reimagine how a new district can be delivered using technology as an enabler. Covering all elements of the city, it is truly an exciting but challenging project because all of our disruptive visions have to be deliverable. So we're currently writing the business and economic cases behind each one of our infrastructure, waste, sustainability and energy strategies at the moment. So what does this mean for India? From our perspective, as I said earlier, we've been working on the India 100 Smart Cities program for approximately 6 months. We're working on that project with 2 partners called Feedback Infrastructure and Cisco. And we've held a number of conversations with cities in the Rajasthan and Gujarat regions, as well as having a broad understanding of what's happening elsewhere in India. From our perspective, and I'll say it is from our perspective and experience, the 100 Smart Cities program is a good start. It looks to understand the citizen's point of view, its needs and outcomes, and tries to match technology to support. However, the challenge will be, in our view, to analyse all of the citizens' feedback and prioritise those initiatives and solutions that demonstrate the greatest impact and to allow the broader market to respond in the right way. So moving forward, we recommend that technology investment should first consider what is right for both society and the economy, with greater definition on actual need and outcomes, as well as the solutions to support it. So there should be greater focus on what citizens actually need, with defined use cases to allow the national and international markets to respond in the right way, and providing a suitable vehicle to allow the sustainable delivery of technology accommodating all of the living city areas I've discussed today. A really key part of this is that we need to start getting our engineers, architects and city servants and city officials to start thinking like technologists and vice versa, because only then, I believe, will we really truly leverage the benefits of both areas of our training expertise for the betterment of society. And finally, we need to provide a win-win scenario for both the public and private sectors, as well as the citizen and society as a whole. So an example of this kind of positive look forward is a project we're currently working on at the moment. It's in NEWTOWN in KOLKOTA. We're working with the Future Cities Catapult in the UK alongside Deloitte Consulting. And BuroHappold are primarily leading on the economic rationale behind smart cities, but also influencing from a living city perspective. The primary driver of our work at the moment is understanding the citizens' needs through creating a series of use cases and obviously quite an extensive citizen engagement program. And therefore understanding how technology can be delivered to support the use cases. Now, As I wrap up, I appreciate I've covered quite a lot of ground in the 15 minutes that I've been given. I do hope you found it interesting. I'll leave you with a little insight into the secret sauce, our living city recipe, if you will. It really is very, very simple. It combines vision with stakeholder engagement and assessment, alongside urban intelligence that balances the business proposition with infrastructure, environmental and technology planning and delivery. Thank you very much.